Welcome back. I'm playing Warhammer 40,000 Battlesector, and we'll get started on our next matchup. We're going to be playing the Field of Skulls, Strategic Command, 2,000 points. I'm going to be playing as the Chaos Demons, and we're going to be playing against the Tyranids, 2,000 point, 8 turn limit with an 80-point target. I'm going to use my Summoner Army. Hopefully that'll give me enough time to summon more units. The question with Tyranids, are they going to go for a heavy force, or are they going to go with a swarm tactics, and you never really know. Unfortunately, the swarm tactics is highly effective against the Chaos Warriors, especially if you're not summoning enough units. So let's see how this ends up going. You know, this map is so big, you got to cross a lot of distance, unfortunately. So I'm going to have my Bloodmaster be one of my HQs here. And so I've got 2 Bloodthirsters, 2 Demon Princes, I've got 1, 2, 3 Bloodmasters, and 4 Skulls of Khorne. Now I do have 50 points remaining, so it's always like, well, do I give them the Demon Axe, do I not? But it's like it costs you more and I don't have any splash damage with it, so I just think it doesn't make sense. Especially if he's going to end up going with Swarm Tactics and I just don't know, so it's like, why chance it? So I'm just trying to run everybody over as far as I can at this point in time. But there's all this crap in the way that's just really slowing us down. And it's like, well, do I push you that way? Do I push you this way? And it's like, well, if I come over here, I should be able to hopefully take that next point in another turn. And if that's the case, his unit shouldn't have nearly as much movement as I do. So we took that, and it's like, well, I guess we'll send you over here to start locking that area down. And it's 5-0, so points are being awarded on my turn. It's like, well, let's move these guys up, and I can get over here as I thought. So that'll help me get a second point going. And every little point as fast as you can helps, because once the match you start colliding with each other, it can definitely be a disaster. So it's like, I'll pull you back just to try to keep you in protection as long as I can, because we don't have much for armor with any of our units, so they can definitely get taken down pretty easily. And it's like, next turn's going to be the summoning turn. So it's like, do I keep him close to get the armor piercing bonuses? And it's like, I think I'd rather just have you move up as far as possible, so we can summon as many units as close as possible to the points. It's just like, I want to keep pushing, but I don't want to overextend. So that's kind of what I'm trying to figure out here, is how far do I want to go? Now, this was kind of foolish. I put them on Overwatch at a farther distance than what they can actually see. So it's like, I'm not quite sure what the point of that was. And now it's like, how far do I want to go with you? And it's like, let's just go all the way over here, so hopefully that'll block the line of sight and give you full cover to stop you from getting ranged out.
I am the Bloodmaster. Their blood will flow.
And it's like, well, let's just move you over here, I guess, and we'll keep him over here. And it's like, I assume he's going to have some gargoyles or a Termagon to run around here, so I'm assuming he's going to be, we're going to see him next turn. Now it's 15-5, and he moved up. We can kind of see some units here. Let's start our summoning party. I got another Bloodmaster, so that's not terrible. So he'll be able to summon more units in 2 turns. I end up moving these guys up here, and it's like, yep, he's got quite the force over there. So, but he ran his guys off, so now I should be able to get up here to take this. I see just how much he has up there. It's like, holy shit.
The bloody feast awaits.
I'm trying to run these guys up a little bit, except what I don't know is
Blood and rust.
Where are his other forces here? It's like, well, we'll keep you there to hold the line. Bring this guy up here. I want to start bringing my bloodletter down to the other side potentially in case he ends up just pushing that whole left side hard. So now I'm like, does he have guys on the right side? I don't even know what his plan is at this point.
Khorne's rage guides us.
It's like, well, let's keep you over here so I can use you as my line of sight. Now I see that that point is open. So it's like, well, I can move the Demon Prince up. And if I summon another light unit, he should have 3 movement. And unfortunately I summon a Skull Cannon, so it has 2 movement, so I now can't capture that point. And it's like, well, let's move you up here and start shooting into the gargoyles. It's like, well, let's summon more guys here, and I got another Bloodmaster. So it's like, in the short term, that's terrible, because I'd rather have more units to throw into the battle. But in the long term, it's great, because now I have 3 more guys that can be summoned. If he really starts to get into my way.
Violence and death.
And it's like, well, let's just move you down here. Summon another guy. I got another Skull Cannon. It's like he's probably gonna get attacked, so we'll just keep you back. I run you up here. It's like, well, I can't really see anybody over here. So I guess we'll just attack into the...
Lord of Rage, command me. I am the Bloodmaster.
It's like, oh, just looking at his units here. And now he's moving out his guys here. So one thing this player really does well, I wasn't originally planning on uploading this match, but he does a really good job of keeping his units together to maximize his swarm tactics. And he also uses his Gene Stealers really well, so I figured I'd show how a really good player does that. Because most people I play tend not to use Gene Stealers, including myself. Now I thought there was something where they wouldn't benefit from swarm tactics like the rest of the low tier units, but that doesn't seem to be the case. And so he does a really nice job keeping guys together. So he's got his warriors for the increased accuracy, all these other guys. Because right now with all 3 of those next to him, each one of those is getting 30% accuracy, 30% damage, in addition to additional accuracy benefits from the Tyranid warriors being there. Now he's running his acid sprayers down there to hold the line. He's got multiple hive guards, which are good against all my units.
Our blades thirst for blood. Blood and rust.
And now we're in this situation. So I definitely think in retrospect I should have done this a little bit different than how I actually did. But I'm just trying to be like, how do I capture this point here? Because I want to keep pushing. And it's like, unfortunately with those barriers I can't charge. I'm certainly not going to move in with my Bloodmaster here because he'll definitely die. So it's like, let's just try to take out as many of these low tier units as I can. Now unfortunately it doesn't have enough splash damage to be able to kill everybody in there. So, and as long as there's a squad there, it still counts towards the swarm tactics bonuses. So that's where it always gets tricky, like, do you focus on wasting another attack to kill those guys? Or do you just work on killing as many models as you can, and I think the models is still the best way to go, because once you start doing that, their damage drops off pretty precipitously. But if they have a bunch of other units there where they're still getting the swarm tactics, may not be the best choice, but that's generally my rule of thumb here. And now I'm trying to decide, do I want to charge in here with these guys and do damage? Do I want to move them around to try and attack the warriors and other units on the right side there so I can totally lock that down and start pushing in the middle? And I also don't know where the Overwatch shots are with all those hive guards. So ultimately what I decide is, well, let's see where it is. Let's charge into here. And now I know it's not in front of these units, because otherwise it would have been triggered by that. And it's like, I would like to take those warriors out if I could. Because I think it's 3 shots and you can get a kill. And I don't want them to be getting all this extra AP. And unfortunately you miss. Or I miss, I should say. So I pull them back and I bring these guys up. And it's like, alright, I can't turn you into a torpedo, you don't have enough movement. So it's like, let's just shoot into these guys. And it's like, I assume you're gonna get damaged. It's like, do I turn you into a torpedo? Do I shoot? What do I want to do here? So what I decide, this is what I would do differently, is I moved them up and I'm like, well, I can use this rage to attack everybody and do a bunch of damage. But by itself, I don't think this makes a lot of sense, because it's not enough to kill models. And I could have just jumped behind there and done double attacks on those high value targets over there by those hive guards. But instead I did that, and so this was a pretty big mistake, because if I hadn't done that and I just jumped here, I could have killed the Tyranid warriors, or I could have killed both the hive guards just about. So that was not worth it, because now I've effectively sacrificed my bloodthirster, and I'm not sure that really got enough points out of him to make that a good decision. It's like, well, I can run him up here to get the kill. I'm like, well, maybe this skull cannon will be able to do 40 damage, and he shoots, but he does 34. So it's like, damn it, he's still got a model there. And I'm a little confused at this point in time, because I'm like, I don't see any HQ units. So I'm like, does he not have an HQ unit to use his command points? So I'm not quite sure what to think of that, but I end up pulling the Bloodmasters back because I don't want them to get sniped. Because again, they're very squishy. And it's like, we'll use that because I assume you're going to be able to get attacked. And now it's like, what do I want to do here? It's like, I know he doesn't have Overwatch in front of the units there. It's like, maybe I just run these guys down and shoot into the Tyranids as much as we can. Because it's like, I should be able to do pretty good damage against them. And it's like, alright, that wasn't terrible. And we'll shoot into here. It's like, alright. Now I'm like, what are the... It's like, do I fly over here and suffer the accuracy? Because I think if I end up flying, I'm for sure going to get targeted by those Overwatches. So it's like, hopefully if I just get some big hits here, I can just walk them down here, and then between those 2 attacks, I should be able to kill them. It's like, well, I got acid sprayed. And it's like, I only do 105 to 140, but maybe if I use the Insensate Rage here, I can buff my damage enough that I will be able to get the kill. And I do, thankfully. And then that means I can run the Skull Cannon up 1 space to take this place. And it's now captured in our favor.
Violence and death.
And Now it's like, what do I want to do with these Blood Masters? Because they're pretty easily going to be sniped by all those gargoyles. So I end up pulling these guys back here. It's like, maybe I can aggro them, maybe I won't. I'm not quite sure. I don't want all those guys to move forward and just shoot you, though, because that's not worthwhile. And I end up ending the turn, so it's 45 to 25. Now he's running up with his left side here. Again, doing an excellent job to make sure he always maximizes the amount of synapses that are formed. Runs those guys over, again trying to maximize the synapses. And because of that, he does crazy damage with his Gene Stealers. And he's able to run over here and capture that point. Tyranid warriors are moving up. And I assumed he was going to want to attack him, so I ended up using that damage debuff. Now he runs all these guys over here, and I'm like, oh shit, this guy's definitely dead. And again, really nice plays, gets everybody together, stacking his buffs. And Gene Stealers come in 250. 350. Another 90 damage. Broke him so he doesn't have his zone of control anymore. He's running all these other guys up. He's got his prime there. Unfortunately, he doesn't do enough damage to get the extra action, so he gets kicked in the face. Runs the rest of his units down here. Now he's trying to drop that skull cannon, and thankfully I buffed his damage reduction, so he's tanking this like nobody's business. He gets his damage, he gets his zone of control, so I get a good hit there. And then he attacks me in melee, and now he gets another attack. So I'm not sure why he didn't acid spray me, but gives me a free 50 damage, so I was pretty pleased with that. He moves these guys over. And I think at this point in time, it's like, well, it's 4-1, but then he gets angry and I guess rage quits. I'm not quite sure what happened there, because I think I would have won this match, but I don't think it was nearly as close as, or so much in my favor that I would have just conceded on this turn, because he still has a ton of units left. So, you know, it's a nice show of how effective the Tyranid swarm play is against the forces of chaos. And like I said, this is an excellent example of using very good swarm tactics, and he showed how powerful he can make the Gene Stealers if you're always buffing them with the other swarm tactic abilities with them. Again, if you have both your Bloodthirsters together and you're fighting these swarm tactics, and you get both your Bloodthirsters to jump into combat, you can do the double Insensate Rage, and that will kill almost everything. I think Gargoyles technically would survive it, as long as they get a lower damage roll, but the Hormagaunts would all die. The Gene Stealers would survive. Obviously, the Warriors and the other medium tier units would survive as well, but you can really mess up a Tyranid player that way. So just be careful when you're playing the forces of chaos and you know they're going to have multiple Bloodthirsters, because if you're so grouped up together, then you're going to get nuked. But excellent use of the Gargoyles there, running around, getting good attacks, always maximizing the swarm. And then as you can see, the Skull Cannons are very good against the swarm tactics as well, because they have so much splash damage. They can't fully wipe out a unit. And then the other thing to notice when they're using their charge attack, I think it only has like 4 or 5 splash there too, so you can't, even though you can charge through multiple units, you won't actually wipe them out, so just be aware of that. But the Skull Cannons are also good at taking out the Tyranid warriors, and generally you'll want to focus on the Tyranid warriors or the Hive Guards, because they're good at, with the Hive Guards, they stack up and get like 100% accuracy, and they already ignore partial cover, so they can really nuke most of your units. And then the warriors, not only do they get extra AP when they're killing a model, but then they also do good against melee, and if they shoot with the venom cannon, they're almost guaranteed to get an attack, and they buff the accuracy of everybody around it, so it's different buffs are stacking. So just keep that in mind when you're playing against them here. But unfortunately, the other opponent conceded a little bit early here. Like I said, I wasn't originally planning on uploading this match, but I thought he did so well with his swarm tactics, especially with the Gene Stealers. I just thought I would show it because I don't typically use the Gene Stealers very much. Alright, well, I'm going to call it quits here for the day. If you're enjoying these videos, please give my channel a like and subscribe. It encourages me to post more content for you. And if you want to play a match with me, just send me a message on YouTube. Let me know what your username is. Create a private game. Send me the password name, and I'll get it uploaded. I can give you some feedback, or if you want to show me some new tactics or army builds that I haven't used before, I can share it with the rest of the subscribers here, because it definitely looks like there's a lot of interest in this game, and a lot of people are starting to play it on multiplayer. So thanks for watching, and have a great day.